I want Grealish.
Yeah, when we saw Saka walk up, I think we were expecting to see probably Grealish or Sterling go up first before him. But like I say, they'll have looked at who's missed when, who's taken on. You just told us a stat there about Jack Grealish. I think taken on for 2 seasons. So there's obviously something wrong there in terms of his penalty taking. And Gareth will have looked at that and put the boys forward who he felt had the most, if you like, likelihood to score in his mind.
It comes down to you've got to want it as well. I'm sure that they spoke before, and these players already knew that they were taking one. That's why probably Rashford and Sancho came on when they did. They knew they were taking one. Some players just say, I don't want one. And the players that do take them, you just hope that they can take it. But the pressure in the stadium for England in a final, you know what I mean? It's more than the kind of pressure that I can even think of, because I'm thinking I'm coming down there, like I mentioned, this keeper's massive. I've got to make it perfect. Even with Rashford's penalty, he's setting him the wrong way, but he's so trying to get him to get it into the side, and he's missed the goal.
And if you're Sterling or Grealish, you cannot sit there and have a young kid walk up ahead of you. You can't. I don't care if
you think they should have volunteered.
You can't sit there and go, I see a young kid, 90, a child walking up in front of me. And I've played a lot more games, I've got a lot more experience. Sterling has won trophies. I'm not saying he wasn't prepared. Gareth might have been thinking you're going to be 6 or 7. You can't sit there. That must be hard to take. You've got to get in front of this young kid and say, listen, I'll step up before you.
Gareth mentioned something in his interview, Mark, that I think he'll be more disappointed about than the penalties. And that's the England teams, historically, when they've gone out of tournaments on penalties, have sagged back towards their own goal, shrunk back towards their own goal, got very deep, and then not become composed on the ball, looked quite fatigued, and not had then the guts to play out and play through. And this team have tried to change that. If you remember, they went out to Croatia in the tournament 3 years ago, and they've just got pushed back. So they couldn't do it in normal time and extra time, which I think he'll be most disappointed with, because they didn't get on the ball, they didn't keep the composure, they didn't get into the shape attacking-wise to keep possession. And that's something that has been the Achilles heel of England teams tournament after tournament, and that's the last little bit of the jigsaw they've got to get right. The penalties will always be an element of who's got the best goalkeeper, who's got the best penalty takers, but in terms of the game itself, just that little bit more during the match. But it's difficult, because I've been there. I've gone out on penalties 4 times where we've sagged back towards our own box, defending for our life, and then gone out on penalties.